Joining us to discuss a bit more the debate happening in our country, Congressman from Oklahoma, Markwayne Mullin, who also serves on the House Intelligence Committee. Congressman, great to see you. Thanks for joining me today.
Bianca, thanks for having me on.
So the new details are in, and here's what we know. A gun purchased legally in a state that has very stringent gun laws. In fact, Highland Park has a ban on assault weapons and has since 2013. So it seems like no matter the amount of laws, this would have only been prevented if someone perhaps took his YouTube video seriously and he didn't fall through the cracks.
Well, Bianca, you can't legislate crazy and criminals out of existence. And instead of this White House and the left going towards the law-abiding citizens by saying the first thing we have to do is get stronger on gun control, that's only going to go after the law-abiding citizens. How about we just focus on criminals and get tough on law? We've seen crime literally run rampant since this administration has got in power. And what do you think? This administration got in power by saying defund the police. I mean, you can see blue cities all across the country. They have rampant criminals and criminal activity going all through their states. So you see the highest gun activity that's used in crimes in cities that have the strictest gun laws. Obviously, it's not working, but the definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over again, expecting different results. And that's exactly what this administration is doing.
You know, I want to play a little soundbite from this morning. Mayor Nancy Rotering was on NBC's Today Show, Congressman, and moments ago we took the live press conference where she says we're all grieving together. But here's when she was asked specifically about the issue of mental health and addressing that. Let's listen to what she had to say.
But I don't want to even ascribe it to mental health. I want us to talk about the fact that there are weapons of war on our streets, that people can legally obtain these and then take out dozens of people.
She doesn't even want to discuss it. She literally shuts down the question when now, just hours later, she's standing a few feet away, mind you, from the police chief who's saying this man was wearing women's clothing. He was trying to blend in with the crowd. How can she stand at a news conference when they're describing someone who clearly posted some things online that would suggest he has some mental issues and just completely shut it down? And there's no concern that her constituents might, give her backlash for that type of comment?
Well, and they should, because Bianca, it just shows the out of touch reality that the left has went to. Mental illness is real. I work on mental illness constantly in Washington, D.C. when we start talking about gun control, when we start talking about the issues that face it, gun control and mental illness, they don't actually have the same impact. When you start talking about gun control, you start talking about law-abiding citizens that have actually the idea that they want to do things the right way. When you start talking about mental illness, there's no touch of reality. There's no direction to which they're trying to go to, and you can't put the two in the same category. Mental illness is mental illness, and it can be treated and it can be looked at, but
then you and I may well spend our sunset years telling our children and our children's children what.
From shooting, as it says, of course, to the reports, random, so there's no motive behind it. If you can't say that's mental illness, then what is your definition of it? How do you just simply overlook that? Instead, you just want to go to gun control and say that's going to solve the issue. When you start looking at Highland Park and you start seeing exactly what type of gun control they already had in place, and obviously it doesn't work, that's just the mayor not understanding what's actually happening in the world today.
But people understand, and people living in Chicago understand, and Highland Park as well. I mean, it's sad to say that, in fact, even before yesterday's tragedy, Congressman, I'm sure you heard this statistic, 80 people were injured in Chicago area gun violence since Friday. 7 people died. And then this happens on top of it. People don't feel safe anywhere. Yet President Biden, his comments yesterday really didn't reflect that as well. And so he sort of wants to take credit for this bipartisan gun law that was recently passed. Let's listen to what the president said yesterday.
I know many Americans look around today and see a divided country and are deeply worried about that fact. I understand, but I believe we're more united than we are divided.
What is he referring to? We're more united. It seems like because that they passed a bipartisan law that, you know, really isn't having an effect to make people feel any safer on the streets.
Bianca, I am so tired of listening to him talk. He doesn't make any sense at all when he's talking. They try to put him on PowerPoints and he can't. And anytime he goes off the PowerPoint, it doesn't make any sense. The people that are writing his speeches obviously are out of touch with what's going on. I mean, we just look at Washington, D.C. to begin with. Washington, D.C. is out of touch with the rest of the world. But anytime this president speaks, you literally cringe, because he is not about uniting the country. He's about giving out a message that obviously isn't resonating with the rest of people. That's why you see this large red wave coming in November. That's why you've seen over a million new registered Republicans across the country, because people aren't buying into what he is saying or to what this socialist woke liberal agenda is driving this country towards. People can see what's happening. I mean, between the crisis on our border, to the crisis with fentanyl, to the crisis with crime running rampant through our blue states and our blue cities, people are not buying into this false narrative that they have.
Well, Vice President Kamala Harris, in a pre-scheduled visit to Chicago, will be making comments about 5 o'clock tonight. They may be cringeworthy as well. Yeah, I know. Want to ask you, before we let you go, about the economy and, you know, the misery that so many Americans are feeling. Gas prices have dropped a little, but we know they're still very high. And President Biden tried to blame those oil companies for the problem in a tweet over the weekend. And you said, you know, who's writing his stuff? Even Big Oil called him out and said, have the White House interns do their homework. You have a solution, Congressman, on how to fix this for America.
Absolutely. How about instead of us going to Saudi Arabia, let Oklahoma and Texas solve this problem? How about we start increasing the capacity of our pipelines again, rather than starting to reduce the capacity? How about allowing us to get the products to the refineries, rather than us having to charge more just to get the product in the pipeline to get it there? I don't know if a lot of people realize this, but when Joe Biden got into office, he started reducing the capacity level, meaning the volume, into these pipelines. That started restraining what we could actually get to the product, so it started causing the prices to go up. Then he started slow walking the permits, and the permits, they can't seem to get them passed. I can promise you that the oil in Oklahoma and Texas could more than backfill the need we have to have on Putin and Saudi Arabia. But instead of letting America produce our own energy, we want to go to a cartel to do it. Once again, it doesn't make any sense, because we haven't limited or reduced our need on fossil fuels at all. In fact, it's increased since the president's been in office, and he's slow walking American producers, at the same time asking foreign producers to increase. It's not America First agenda, I guarantee you that. Yep,
and we know it. And obviously, a lot of issues that real Americans are tackling, and now on top of it, the violence that they are subjected to in many places. Congressman Markwayne Mullin, as always, great to have you with us. Thanks so much for your time today, sir.
Thank you. Thank you so much.